What's up, everybody? It's Carpo here. I just wanted to tell you a funny little story and hopefully inspire some of you to realize this within yourselves, because I know a lot of us share this trait, and to hopefully overcome it for the time being. First off, I'm a procrastinator. I always have been, and there are certain things that I will not put off and other things that I shouldn't put off that I do. One of those things is, one of my, I guess, shortcomings is that I've always been the kind of guy who likes to do everything myself. I don't like calling a plumber, I don't like calling an electrician. I've been a carpenter and worked on houses for years, so I assume I should be able to do just about anything. But I end up putting things off for too long. And there were some issues in the past here recently where we had a leaky pipe last year under the sink, and eventually I had to tear up the bottom of the cabinet. During that process, of course, I had to cut a hole in the floor, and then I didn't patch it up properly, and so a couple mice got in, and then I got done fighting off the mice. So during this process, and sometime before this, my dishwasher stopped working. We had a warranty on the dishwasher, and I know it's the only appliance we bought new in a long time, and it crapped out like within 6 months or something. So I'm embarrassed to say that we let it sit there. I let it sit there way too long. And my wife said, I'm going to put the receipt in your office and we can look it up. The next day I cleaned my office and lost the receipt. Sometime in the last week, lo and behold, I found the receipt in a box that it should not have been in a random place. It was just fate that I found it. So I get the receipt. It's from Lowe's. They have an option to either call or text for a service repairman. So I text. And they get back to me the next morning. It's like, oh, this is Keisha, how can I help you? And I kind of put it off for a day. And my wife's like, oh, don't forget to get back to Lowe's. And my thing is, it worked for just a moment. We went to start the dishwasher recently, and it worked for a second. Then it stopped working. So anyhow, without getting too much into it, I'd already looked underneath at the wires, because Michelle, my wife, says, well, maybe one of the mice, when they were in here, chewed one of the wires. And I didn't see any wires that were damaged. I went under there again today because I'm like, I'm not going to have a repairman come out here and then have them be like, oh, these wires are chewed, that's not covered under warranty. So I double checked, and hidden right there in one of those groups of wires was just a little tiny, it didn't even look like the end of a wire, but I was like, that shouldn't be there. I pulled the little thing back, and sure enough there were two brown wires there that were both torn. And at first I thought maybe they connect to each other. I was like, no, they must go to somewhere else. I reached up inside there, and there were two wires hanging up there that were out of sight. Pulled them down there, hooked the two brown wires up, started it up, and now my dishwasher works. Felt like a complete idiot. My bathtub's been having issues with plumbing for years, but I can usually get it out with a snake. It was backed up this morning, and I just went in there right after that and just instantly got it unplugged. I come back in here and I sit down and I think, how long am I going to do this in my life to where I can't seem to tackle things right when they occur? I would like to be able to just handle all my problems as they're unfolded. And in fact, from everything I've read, from philosophers to teachers to, everybody, it's like that's one of the main steps to take, is to take care of your problems right away. I guess what it comes down to is, how much of a problem is it? So for example, if my dishwasher's not working, well, we can wash them by hand. If your car's not working, well, you can't get to work. So it's something that's imperative. And if you have two cars, well, maybe you can let one sit around for a while. And that's just kind of how we are as humans. Like I said, we have limited willpower, limited motivation to get things done. I know some go-getters that just go out and they want to get everything done, and that's, I guess I find that to be a valuable trait for humans, is to be able to just go get them. But I don't know, maybe it's a thinker's thing, to where, being a procrastinator, actually, you put things off and it's like you think things through on a different level, but sometimes it goes too far. So anyhow, that was just my little story. It's just funny how there are so many things that I've needed to get done lately that I've felt cornered and trapped by it. And it's this feeling of just dread. So I go off and I do another project, do something else. I've got to get some work done, or make a video, whatever it might be, do some writing or research or whatever. And I know that within society standards, maybe I'd be considered lazy. I don't like to do paperwork. I don't really pursue any major, you know, worldly events or causes. Like, I just live my quiet life and do my own thing the way that I see fit. But once I get started on something, then you can compound and we branch outwards and we start doing other things. So right now I'm getting ready to do a few other things, and I just thought I'd share the inspiration of, you know, getting something fixed. Even though, I guess one point I'd like to add to this is, if you are this kind of person and you know what I'm talking about, don't beat yourself up over it too much. But we definitely have to be self-critical if we wait too long on something. Just for the fact of next time I don't want to make the same mistake, even though it just keeps happening. It's one of those repeating things where, like, I should get this done today, and then by the end of the day I'm like, oh, I should have got that done, I totally forgot. So, yeah, so I better get back to work. Anyhow, just thought I'd share. Talk to y'all later. Have a good one.